When most people think of famous horror clowns, they think of Pennywise from It, Art the Clown from Terrifier, or the killer clowns from outer space. But if you're around my age, you're probably old enough to remember back in 2016 when there were thousands of videos posted to social media about clown sightings. There was a trend where people dressed up like clowns and scared randoms. It created such a ruckus that there were actual real life news reports about these clown sightings, and there was sort of a mass hysteria going on. I remember my mom being legit scared when I was going out with my friends, like basically telling me to watch out for the clowns. 2016 was such a crazy year, but we don't need to talk about the other clown that made his grand entrance into the White House that year. Spooky, very spooky times. However, the clown that we will be talking about today is from a 2007 horror film called Thru. Can y'all do me a favor and just look at this cover? This is one of the worst covers I've ever seen in my life. Anyway, I hate to admit that when I was younger, I used to love this movie, which definitely says a lot about my taste in movies now and what I'm willing to put myself through to get these videos done. But before we even get into that, hello, my name is Keishay, aka Shay, aka Shake and Bake, and welcome back to my channel. Please be sure to like and subscribe. It helps the channel out a lot. The family here is growing, and without further ado, let's get into the video. Thru is a 2007 direct to DVD horror film, and honestly, I don't think I could write a better synopsis than the one that's already on IMDb. So let's read that, shall we? Horror gets supersized when Horny the Clown, the demonic mascot of Hella Burger,
Num, num, num. I got like hella money. I got like hella money. I got like $5.
Okay, I'm gonna stop playing. I'm going to. Horror gets supersized when Horny the Clown, the demonic mascot of Helleburger, starts slashing Orange County teenagers with his meat cleaver from hell. I first saw this movie when I was definitely too young to be watching it, and I didn't realize how notable the cast was. There's a whole fucking Gossip Girl reunion in this for no reason, with Leighton Meester being the star of the film and Penn Badgley in blackface. Yes, that does happen. There are more cameos sprinkled throughout, but I'll mention them as we get through the breakdown of this film. There isn't much information about this film besides the fact that it won Trashiest Trailer at the Golden Trailer Awards. I've never heard of that, but I guess, that counts for something. Now, the question you guys have been waiting for me to ask, is this movie good? Absolutely not. It is very bad. I think the first 5 minutes of this movie is probably the best part of the film, which isn't a great precursor. So I don't want to hold it off any longer. With that being said, let's get into the breakdown. The movie begins with a group of mid-20-year-old high schoolers on their way to get some food from motherfucking Helleburger. Yo, that's what he says in the dialogue.
Motherfucking Helleburger, yo.
The dialogue is so bad. The way that they talk reminds me of those like non-black TikTokers who have terrible black sense, and they swear up and down that they got those black sense because they grew up around black people. It's bad, but they're doing all of the things that constitutes a bad black scent. They are misusing AAVE, and of course they are saying slurs that do not belong to them. Old girl in the back is doing whatever the fuck this is supposed to be. When they get to the speaker, they decline the deal of the day, and dude, I'm gonna call him Jack Harlow from now on. Jack Harlow calls cheese sticks cheesy dicks, which is hilarious. I did laugh. Mr. Horny, that's the name of the mascot, did not find that as funny and called them wiggers. And honestly fair, but when Jack Harlow asked him what he says, he kind of just brushed past it and act like he didn't say anything wrong. The girl in the passenger seat asked for a milkshake, and Jack Harlow fat shames her, saying, and I quote, "Yo, you busting out your Tommies as it is, booty quake." Booty quake? Like, what are we talking about, bro? Like, what is happening? I couldn't make this shit up if I tried, bro. This is so bad. Anyways, homeboy in the back gets mad, so he decides that he's about to go and kill whoever that is talking to the Mr. Horny in the restaurant. He gets in there and taunts him over the PA system and looks around for him, but he sees a rat and gets spooked. So he's like, I'm never eating at this motherfucker again. And again, fair. I would never eat at a place I saw a rat in again. Mind you, while he's doing that, he's doing this like dumb ass like fake pimp walk, you know what I'm saying? The man of the hour finally shows up, Horny the Clown, and he drops my favorite line of the movie.
Employee of the month about the
He ate that. He did. Also, when Horny speaks, he sounds like the drive-through speaker. Hence the, drive-through. You get it. You get it. Jack Harlow realizes that his buddy is taking too long with the food. So he goes to check on him and he's rapping.
Me got a date with my nickel plate.
He walks around the back for a little bit just to find his boy's head in a fryer. So yeah, his face got fried off. And that's the first 5 minutes of the movie. If this is how it was for the rest of the movie, it would be marginally better. Like, it would be funnier. Because all of the scenes with Horny are the most entertaining. And sadly, he's not in the movie as prominently as everybody else. So it is very dull when Horny the Clown is not on screen, is all I'm saying. Anyways, for the credits, we get like a 4-minute fake rock performance from Leighton Meester, who plays Mackenzie Carpenter. Yes, like John Carpenter. I think a couple of the characters are named after famous like horror people. I think somebody's last name is Meeks, like Randy Meeks from Scream. So there are a couple of those names. I probably didn't get all of them, but just know that they are references to those films. They do the performance. Is this band ever talked about again? No. Literally, this was just for the credits. So when she finishes her set, we meet her weird boyfriend, and all he can talk about is her turning 18 so they can have sex. That's literally majority of their conversations throughout the whole film. And spoiler alert, they don't have sex after her birthday. They have sex the day before. So moving on, the party gets shut down by the police and Mackenzie gets a citation for noise, I think. While they're in the basement, here's where we meet the rest of the people who will be added onto the kill count. So I'm going to speed past this because they are boring as a bag of rocks. They're very dull and they don't really add much. So I'll just do like a quick run through. Penn Badgley is here. He's not in blackface yet. The guy from Scary Movie 5 is Mackenzie's boyfriend. I'm editing this. I did not know that I said Scary Movie 5. He is in Final Destination 5. So, yeah. And the girl from The Ring is in it. I think that's the movie she's in. Yeah, she's from The Ring. They smoke some weed and make some movie references before playing with the Ouija board. But when they play with it, it doesn't do anything. Whole time, this is just a long, drawn out setup for a fart joke. It was just for a fart joke. Everybody leaves except for Mackenzie's boyfriend, and the Ouija board starts moving on its own, and it's spelling out a bunch of random letters and numbers. Mackenzie writes it down on her hand so she can remember it for later just in case it comes up. Obviously, it will come up. We cut back to the car from the beginning, and we see that the girls went to sleep in the car because the guys never came back, which is dumb as fuck, but whatever. One of the girls finds the guys dead in the back seat, and I guess Horny was just waiting for them to wake up because he's like standing right outside the window. And bro, look at his face. Look at his fucking face. He kills them. Who cares? Nobody cares about these people. We needed that scene so they could give us this little pun and so they could introduce us to our detectives for the film, Chase and Crocker. Yes, it sounds like cheese and crackers. Yes. Because I'm doing that because I know somebody's in the comments like their name is Chase and Crocker's cheese and crackers. Like, yeah, we get it. Chase is soaking her hand in the blood for some reason. I don't know why she's doing that. If somebody knows, can y'all tell me why she would ever do that? And Crocker is chilling, not even doing anything but eating some chips. Crocker's kind of looks like the guy from Mr. Meaty. With all due respect, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but when I saw him, that was the first thing that I thought of. And Chase is very much giving Bet Porter vibes, you know, some Jennifer Bills. If you know, you know. Back in Mackenzie's house, we finally meet her parents. Her mom is the only one who really matters for the story, and her mom is played by Melora Hardin, or Jan from The Office. That's what I know her from. She reprimands her daughter for getting the citation and losing her camera. Mind you, the boyfriend was the one who was taking pictures with her camera. As they all waited for their burgers, a commercial from Hella Burger plays, and the burger looks not great. It looks like those burgers that they give at that place in Vegas. I think it's called the Heart Attack Grill, where they have like these giant burgers. That's what their food looks like. Right after that commercial, a news report pops up showing the license plate from that Escalade as clear as day, and it matches what the Ouija board was spelling out the night before. Mackenzie looks at her hand, and the pen that she wrote on her hand last night is still perfectly there. Like, girl, you haven't washed your hands all day? Ooh. Also, what made me laugh is the boyfriend like yelling for everybody to come to the TV, and he goes from like yelling to whispering. It's so weird. He's like, everybody, come over here.
Hey, you guys, come check this out.
It's very weird. I feel like they could have did another take, but they did my boy dirty. Not my boy. Ooh, he's not my boy. He's very weird in this movie. I actually hate him. The friends decide not to tell anybody about the Ouija situation. At school the next day, her boyfriend starts asking the 8-ball in her locker weird shit like this.
Will I finally get to tap that barely legal ass?
And after that, he leaves.
Thank God.
Mackenzie starts to ask the 8-ball questions and it responds, "Hi, Mackenzie." And she asks who it is and why they're doing this, but it just says a broken heart. And it kind of makes sense for Horny's motive. I'm so irritated. I have to say horny so many times in the script. I'm so irritated. But Horny the Clown, the broken heart does kind of fit for that. But at this moment, he is not talking about his broken heart. He's talking about the tattoo that Mackenzie's friend Val has. It's terrible. By the way, it's a really bad tattoo. So that just lets us know that Val is up next on the chopping block. We aren't there yet, though. Mackenzie is in like the computer lab doing her homework when the creepy janitor guy returns her camera to her. He's simply there just to be creepy. We know that he's not the killer. She thanks him and goes to develop her photos, and she sees screenshots basically of the scene when Horny killed the girls earlier. Horny is spying on her, and then Mackenzie finds a picture of her from behind. So it's like he took the picture and it automatically developed. And it's weird. We explain that away because it's supernatural. Horny jumps out trying to scare her while this screamo music is playing, and I'm overstimulated. They do a lot when that shit sound like a motherfucking plane flying by. It's a truck driving past. They also do a lot of like changing the shutter speed and the frame rates when Horny comes, and it's just too much. Honestly, it really like throws you off. Mackenzie runs into the gym where she finds Val, and Val's head is in a microwave, and Horny turns that microwave on. I can't show you, and I'm kind of mad that I can't show you, but this part used to scare me when I was little. But now that I look at it, it looks so dumb, and I wish that you could see it. But if you want to watch this movie, it is free on YouTube. But anyway, Mackenzie runs out of there, obviously. She runs to go find the janitor, and the janitor is found. Let's just say he's dangling from the bathroom ceiling, if you get my drift. And she runs out of the bathroom right into a cop. Mackenzie tries to tell the police what's going on, about the haunted toys, the Ouija board, and the 8-ball, but they obviously don't believe her. So after they listen to Mackenzie's story about the guy wearing a Horny the Clown mask, they decide that they're going to go visit the owner of Hella Burger. His name is Jack Benjamin. He tells them that he doesn't know who would be up to like killing somebody. Then they ask him if they could see any camera footage from the restaurant the night that Jack Harlow and them were killed, and he says that the cameras don't work. They see a picture on his desk of a kid in a Horny the Clown costume, and he says that that was his son. His son was the original Horny the Clown, but he sadly passed away. When the detectives get up and leave, Jack doesn't even like wait till they're like good enough out of the house before he pulls up the camera footage from the restaurant. Like he didn't even let them walk out too good. We skip to later that day, and Mackenzie is putting on her costume, listening to songs backwards, trying to see if there are any satanic messages in them. She's playing Highway to Hell, which is the song that the detective said was playing when they found the vehicle. I just want to ask, like, do y'all remember when every pop girly was getting Illuminati accusations and everybody was playing their songs backwards? I think I saw a tweet from somebody that was like, the pop girlies aren't doing well because they not getting Illuminati allegations. And that's true. They're not getting Illuminati allegations anymore. But now I just feel like the Illuminati allegations have been switched to industry plant allegations. So anyways, Mackenzie decides that she's ready to lose her virginity. Who cares? But we needed this scene to see that she has an Etch-a-Sketch on her floor, and they CGI I Love Bush onto the Etch-a-Sketch. Sadly, it's not that kind of Bush. It is actually George Bush. And I Love Bush is on a shirt worn by this girl Mackenzie calls a Banana Republican, her and her boyfriend. And we met them earlier at the pool party. She like poured beer on them. When the Banana Republicans get to the fair or the carnival, whatever the fuck it is, they run into Mackenzie and her boyfriend, whose name is Fisher, by the way. I don't think that I've said his name one time, but his name is Fisher. And Fisher and Mackenzie are working this haunted roller coaster, and they have this little back and forth that is kind of funny. I'm sorry, I did laugh.
She's like my foot all the way up your ass.
I'm sure what you meant to say was dick.
The Banana Republicans get on the ride and the lights go out. When they flick back on, the guy's head. Y'all know what a Pez dispenser is? Like, he looks like a Pez dispenser at the mouth. Like, he just, that's what he looks like. But the effects look so bad. So it's like, bro, YouTube's so sensitive. I wish I could show y'all because it looks bad, but you get the visual. He kills the girl too, and Fisher sees everything, but he was like stuck there in shock. So he just kind of stood there while Horny killed everybody, and Horny didn't kill him. Mackenzie is eating with her parents, and a man named Bert comes and awkwardly talks to Mackenzie's mom. Long story short, the I Love Bush girl, the Banana Republican, her dad is Bert, and Bert and Mackenzie's mom used to be friends when they were back in high school. They were also friends with Microwave Head's mom and Jack Harlow's parents. So the victims that have been killed so far, all of their parents were friends when they were back in high school. So that is the connection between all of these people. I guess that's why Horny didn't kill Fisher, because Fisher's parents weren't friends with them. I don't know. Does that make sense? Not really. They take Fisher to the hospital, but the cops are starting to think that it's Fisher behind the murders. And finally, he's not being weird because he's not talking. Thank God. The next day, Mackenzie finds that I Love Bush message on her Etch-a-Sketch and rushes to tell Fisher, but the police officer that's like guarding Fisher's room manhandles her, telling her that nobody is allowed to speak to him at the moment. And Detective Chase sees this and pulls Mackenzie to the side for a chat. And she says that she doesn't have enough evidence to believe Mackenzie, but she doesn't not believe her. She just says that she can't believe stories about her haunted toys. So she kind of believes her, but she doesn't have any evidence to go off of. Mackenzie just storms off with that because she's upset, and she goes into the lobby and gets into a big argument with her mom. She's basically yelling at her mom, telling her like she needs to tell the police that all of the victims are connected to her and her high school friends. And Detective Chase is ear hustling. She's eavesdropping, and she most definitely hears this. So she just takes Mackenzie's theory and starts pressing Bert. He lies and he says he doesn't know why somebody would be in a Horny the Clown mask trying to kill his daughter, but Chase is not letting him slide with that. So he decides to spill the beans, but we don't know what happened yet. Fisher breaks out of the hospital by drugging Crockers because, according to this movie, fat people will eat anything, including other people's leftovers that they've already eaten off of. Yikes. It's stupid, but I digress. It's supposed to be funny, guys. Laugh. Mackenzie gets another clue from a toy that says "See you at 420" and finds Fisher hiding in her car. They find out from Penn Badgley's character Van that 420 stands for 420 Boys, and they find out that the boy in the 420 Boys, his name is Chuck Taylor. Yes, like the shoes, Chuck Taylor. Chuck's father was Mackenzie's mom's high school boyfriend. The 420 Boys are in front of Hella Burger smoking when they decide that they're going to go in and get some food. And while the girl orders the food, the two guys, Chuck and some other guy, go and play in the little playpen. The girl goes up to order her food, and the creepy guy at the register is Morgan Spurlock, who some of you guys may recognize from the documentary Super Size Me. We all pretty much had to watch that in high school in health class. I think that he passed away recently, so rest in peace to Morgan Spurlock. Morgan Spurlock sees the boys in the fucking play zone and tries to get them out of there, but they just start throwing the little balls from the ball pit at him. Then he leaves saying that he's gonna call the cops, and while he's doing that, Horny comes and kills them niggas in 2x speed. Why does Horny keep doing these little head tilts and these little side eyes? He like, why does he keep doing that? Mackenzie goes home to look for clues, and her mom finally decides to spill the beans. Back when Mackenzie's mom was like a stoner, she and all of the parents of the victims were friends, and they would hang out over the summer, even though they all went to different schools. They knew a kid named Archie Benjamin, which is Jack Benjamin's son, the original Horny the Clown. Period. They used to bully him because they thought that he was weird, and they knew that he was obsessed with Mackenzie's mom. Even though he didn't have any friends, he still invited them to his 18th birthday party, but none of them showed up. Instead, they decided to play a prank on him by sneaking into the restaurant where he was having his birthday party and scaring him. And when he got scared, he knocked the cake over, and all of the candles hit the ground and like lit the restaurant on fire, and Archie burned to death in that fire. So now he's hunting all of the children from that friend group. And today is supposed to be Mackenzie's 18th birthday as well. But no, it's not, because the day they were getting ready for the carnival, I could have sworn that her boyfriend was like, oh, I don't have your gift today because your birthday is tomorrow. So did all of that happen in the same day? Did I miss a day or something? Why am I spiraling over this? It literally doesn't matter. Like, it does not matter. Mackenzie and her crew decide that they're going to sneak into Jack Benjamin's house so they can talk to him. And this is where we see Penn Badgley in blackface. And before somebody gets in the comments being like, this technically isn't blackface because he's trying to camouflage himself. With all of the shit that they have done and said in this movie, you don't think that they knew what this would look like? I'm just saying, turn this on. But I digress. Van brought a bunch of stuff to fight against Horny, and Fisher's over here calling his supplies ghetto.
Listen, we're not ghetto. No.
First of all, we are not ghetto. And when white people start throwing ghetto around, you might as well just say nigga. Like, it's very coded. It's very much a microaggression. Mackenzie brought a fucking revolver with her, so that will absolutely be dropped soon. And they decide, like in every horror movie, that they should split up. Mackenzie and Fisher find Horny's room and they see all of the toys, but the one that I want to point out and the one that they bring the most attention to is this Horny the Clown doll that's literally just a Woody doll with a Horny the Clown mask on it. I don't know. Maybe they ain't think nobody's gonna notice, but we know that little curly cute girl. Stop playing. They pull the string on the doll and it says something, but then when they sit the doll down, it tells Mackenzie happy birthday because it is now midnight. We go back with Penn Badgley and they're literally supposed to be sneaking around this man's house, but he's screaming to the other girl like, yo, where you at? Hello? I thought y'all was supposed to be sneaking around. He's sneaking around in the garage and he finds a deep freezer and he opens that deep freezer and finds the girl from The Ring in it. Right after he finds the girl in the freezer, Horny pops up and literally chops him in half. Right after that, Horny accesses through the door and chases Mackenzie and Fisher through the house. Fisher tries to actually fight Horny, okay? But Horny basically stares at him to death and his eyes like turn red. I don't know what that's about. But anyway, Mackenzie gets kidnapped. Chase and Crockers finally show up to Jack Benjamin's house thinking he's the one who's doing the killings. But he says that it's not him. He says that it's his son. They still arrest him anyway. Horny brought Mackenzie and the rest of the dead victims to Helleberger for a birthday party. Yay! Period. They are not all decomposed, even though most of them have been dead for days. Mackenzie is obviously very freaked out and she asks where Fisher is. And Horny the Clown responds, he wasn't invited. I thought that was so funny. I'm sorry. I just thought that was so funny. He pours gasoline on Mackenzie and Mackenzie's mom shows up and shoots the lock on the door so she can get into the restaurant. But the bullet holes are in the window. It's just something I noticed. Am I being nitpicky? A little bit. I'm gonna start calling Horny Archie because I'm tired of saying Horny. Okay. When Mackenzie's mom gets into the restaurant, she shoots Archie in his speaker and she goes to try to untie Mackenzie. But Archie pops up behind her and basically starts choking her out. Mackenzie frees her hands and drinks some of the alcohol out of the flask that she's always carrying with her. She may have a little problem and she just turned 18. But it's coming in handy right now. She holds the liquor in her mouth until Horny gets right next to her. And when he picks up a candle, she blows the alcohol in his face and burns him all over again. When the police arrive, they note that all of the bodies are accounted for except for Archie's. And the only thing that is left is like half of Archie's mask. They also tell Mackenzie that Fisher is still alive, but he's in critical condition at the hospital. Mackenzie demands that she needs to see him, so they rush to the hospital. And Fisher wakes up in his hospital bed. And when Mackenzie goes to check on him, he's not there, but the window is open. So it is assumed that he just got up and jumped out of the window. Mackenzie looks out of the window and says that it's not over, and the movie ends. Psych, it's not over yet. Crocker pulls up at Helleberger and gets attacked by Horny, and then the movie ends. This movie was something. You can tell that they were setting up for a sequel, but there wasn't any word of any sequels being in production whatsoever, so I can't really speak to that. But now to the ending with Fisher. If I'm not mistaken, they were setting up Fisher to be like possessed by Archie, so he would like carry on the killings. That's why he kind of just like woke up and was able to jump out of the window with nothing wrong with him, because that window was kind of high. So I assume that that's what they were like setting the sequel up for. I don't know. I literally don't know, and I guess we'll never know. I do think if they made a new one and like released it on Shudder or something, it would do pretty well. I think it would probably be funny if they leave all of the like shutter speed and the frame rate stuff, dial that back a little bit. I think it would be pretty decent. Does this movie hold up? No. It is a nice like fun watch when you want something stupid to put on. Sure, yeah, put this on. I watched it. You watched me talk about it. So I guess that says something, right? Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. I really appreciate all of the love and support. By the time this comes out, the channel will probably or be close to 2,000 subs. So I am beyond grateful to all of you. Thank you so much for all of the outpouring of love. I really, really appreciate it. If you have any recommendations, leave them down in the comments. I do check and read most of you guys' comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. If you're one of my friends and family members watching, I love you, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.